Alright, last but not least, before I hit the road, Jack. I should have got some more bananas while I was at the grocery store. I forgot. No, well. I gotta vacuum out my big truck. Do my logbook. I had 4 days off. Oops. Wrong button. Dang it. Go back. Thank you. Alright. So, I gotta pick up in St. Louis tomorrow morning. So, it's a 5-6 hour drive, so I really don't need to leave here till noon. But it's about that now. So, I was going to work on one more project before I go, but I decided I can probably wait. It won't take me very long, but I do need to get down the road. Because I need a shower, and I haven't had a shower in a few days, 4 or 5 days. So I got all my pallet boxes done, except for one. There's a pine tree over here that looks like it's probably dead. I'll probably work on it next weekend. I'll go ahead and put another, or next week, I'll go ahead and put a box around it. Just in case it decides it wants to live. Come with me if you want to live. So I got them all boxed off, got them protected from the goats. This here, I already said this before, but I'll say it again. This is wild daisies. And it tastes like carrots. It's one of my favorite winter greens. Winter green. Like I said, when I get some raised beds, I'm gonna be growing that for sure. I might actually even grow that in the greenhouse. There's some more of that carrot. Wild daisies. There's some more. I could make this a combination free food and medicine video and a farm video. See, that's the one the ghost messed up. Yeah, I'm still off grid, so I don't got a shower yet, but I'm working on it. I mean, during the summer, I can, it's a lot easier than it is in the winter. So the reason, if I'm gonna make this dual purpose video, The reason I want the pines, oh, this box ain't center like I wanted it to be. Hang on. It don't matter too much right now, but I want that pine to be right smack dab center in the box. Make it harder for the ghosts to eat it. That's pretty close. So mostly pines high in vitamin C, but I also like the pine pollen. The pine pollen is a medicinal, and that's the main reason why I want it. And the leaves or the pines also make good fertilizer or mulch. You can see here they were either rubbing on it or chewing on it. So, like I said, I don't mind if they eat the leaves or the pines, just I don't want them to kill the tree. You know, goats need nutrients too. This is my blackberry patch. I'm working on getting it ready. It's gonna be my next focus. I got some wild raspberries trying to grow in there too. I gotta cut them out or pull them out. And a rose bush. But these are primocane blackberries. It's not a wild edible, but they're delicious and nutritious. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a compost tea or fertilizer bucket on each end. I'm gonna have fish water in the middle, and that'll give me, you know, extra water if I need to water them, but I probably won't. And then the other ones, and I probably shouldn't just do that. I should probably just have the fertilizer buckets in there, but nonetheless, the concept is that I'll put the nutrients in the buckets, and then when it rains, it'll spill the nutrients out, and then the nutrients will spread wherever. And so I got 3 rolls here. It was like 5. It was like 5 rolls, but you couldn't get a mower through here. So, and Judas, he didn't really want them. So between Cindy and I, we reorganized them. Well, we cleaned it up. Cindy helped me clean it up so they wouldn't be feral, because David Ray let them go feral, and then they didn't taste very good. Here's some new sprouts. I'll dig them up and transplant them. But anyway, and here's another one. So we came through and cleaned them up. This was bad. It was real bad. And then I transplanted them from the 5 rows to the 3 rows, and then got some more from a friend. And then when I got the others from the friend and planted them in here, then David Ray complained, "Oh, well, how am I going to know your blackberries from my blackberries?" Well, I'm like, you didn't want them. You let them go feral. You didn't take care of them. What do you mean, your blackberries from my blackberries? You didn't care about them. You didn't want them. So I took over. So then he wanted them because I wanted them. He wanted them. And because I was taking care of them, now he wants them. Even though he said they were shit. He didn't like the way they tasted. I liked them. But, you know, I'm not allowed to like them. You know? This was a failed project here too, by the way. But anyhow, um, so yeah, so I dug the ones I got from my friend up and took them over to Cindy's and just planted them over at Cindy's. So she's got them growing on her property now. It's like, fuck it, I'll just grow my blackberries at Cindy's and you can have yours. You can do whatever the hell you want to do with yours. And then he left and left them all behind. It's like, I thought you wanted them. So he just wanted them because I wanted them. He's a pain in the ass. Just like that thing. I can't get it out. Oh. So he just left them. So he didn't really care about them. So I'm going to cultivate them and I'm going to do something with them. And I'm going to put two more. Well, I'm going to put the fish barrels here, and that'll give them fish water, fish poop water for nutrients. And then the two on the end will have like different fertilizers and stuff like that in it. So when it rains, that fertilizer will splash out and feed the plants. And what I understand, I'm not a connoisseur. I don't know shit, to be honest. But anyways, I don't know much about much. I'm not like David Ray, who claims to know everything about everything but doesn't do anything. I don't know nothing. I'm just trying to make things happen. But from what I understand, they don't like to have their feet wet. And that might have been why he didn't like these berries, because he didn't plant them right. So you got to raise the beds. You got to make like even a miniature raised bed for them, so they don't get their feet wet. They like their tap root wet, but not their side roots apparently. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna basically build this up a little bit. And I haven't decided how I'm gonna do it. There's this guy who welds these pipes together from the oil field. And so I thought about putting them down and filling them in. And then I'm gonna put cages around them. Like field fence or something, so I can still get my hands in there and prune without, but it'll give them a cage to grow up in. And then I got to do something about that honey locust. I hadn't tried killing it yet. I just cut it out and it grew back. So I got to do something about that. But anyways, so this is the blackberry patch. I'm going to be working on this next. It's not the wild blackberries. These short wild blackberries, they're not that great. It's the really tall ones that get as tall as you and me. Those are the ones you want. Rose bush, I'll put a cattle panel around it and protect it. And then anything that grows outside of that, the goats can eat. Still doing a lot of cleanup. I was trying to do a sustainable community here, but that was a joke. So I'm still cleaning up the mess from that. It's a lot of mess. But I saw another piece of property for sale up by Clinton, Missouri. It looked like it was a sustainable community before too, and it was probably worse. Well, definitely worse. Probably 10 times worse than my place was. At least I was here trying to stay on top of it. Here's some more boxes I made. Not sturdy. I could probably put a T-post in here to hold it and make it more sturdy. But it's just to keep the goats out. If anything, maybe I could just put another layer of pallets on this to keep the goats from getting in here. This side's a little bit more stable. But yeah, if I put some more pallets on it, it'll be a lot more structurally sound. This side's solid. But it's just to keep the goats off of it, to let it grow and in peace. trying to let the hedge grow because I want to make shade trees. I got 2 shade trees. I had 3, but only 2 survived. There's another pine. Looks pretty healthy. Some of these bigger ones I'm not too worried about, but I went ahead and put boxes around them anyways, just to keep them safe. It's the little guys I'm worried about. And pine, you know, I used to be, and I still kind of sort of am, my brother and I are tree trimmers. And pine can get a disease and just die, just like that. And then, of course, there's bugs that like to eat the sap in the pine trees. So you gotta watch out for that too. This one's not center. I gotta scoot it out. So I was just grabbing pallets that I had on the land. This one here's a little tall, but it was the right width that I wanted. So I was like, it'll work. You know, I was trying to just use standard pallets, 40 by 48 size pallets. And this one's longer, but not long enough to use for my goat house. So I was like, well, it's kind of useless, so I'll go ahead and use it. So my biggest one I have is over here. So here's a couple more, 2 of them. A little itty bitty and then a medium sized one. I wouldn't even say medium, they're both small. And then a juniper. There we go. As long as the goats don't or can't get to it to eat it down. That's all I'm worried about. This is the biggest one here. And it looks really healthy. So, over here has the best nutrients for these trees. And here's a decent sized one. But yeah, one of these trees, maybe it was over there, the goats were, or something was eating on it and damaged it. So I'm like, whatever tree that is, I might want to save it. So I might have to put a box around it. But it was like one of these trees. So yeah, they can eat the pines, but they won't be able to eat the bark off the tree now, which is what I want. I don't mind if they trim it for me. If they could be my tree trimmers, just don't cut my tree down. Just don't eat the whole thing. Save some for later. So yeah, it's like this one's sticking out. They're definitely gonna eat that, which is fine. I don't mind if they prune. I mean, it's nutrients. I want the goats to be healthy. Just don't want them to kill the trees. So yeah. There we go. That'll give the goats something to eat. And I got them locked up right now. I'll let them out when I get back home in a week. Last week, I let them roam. I was like, I'll just let them roam for the winter. Wasn't my best idea. So I locked them back up. they're trying to figure out how to break into my greenhouse and climb on top of it, for that matter. I'm like, oh no, I can't have that. Because, you know, they're smart, but they're not the smartest. You know, they get up there and then, what if they try to walk on the plastic and then fall through? That would not be good. So, I decided I'm locking them up. I took Fluffy to the vet this morning. She's doing a lot better. But I got her a 15-day antibiotic shot, so since I can't be here to babysit her and I don't have anybody else to look after her while I'm gone, I just went ahead and gave her an antibiotic, or had the vet give her an antibiotic shot, and that'll keep her alive and healthy-ish, you know, give her an opportunity to recover. So I used a lot of pallets that I had. I'm gonna go through and reorganize all these pallets. I'm gonna make a burn pile for the junk pallets, and basically it'll be firewood or potential firewood for the greenhouse. I'd like to put a pellet stove in there, but probably not going to happen right away anyways. But okay, cool. So I got my solar lights in there, got my cameras, solar powered, battery powered cameras, so I can keep an eye on the place while I'm gone. I got one more trail cam that I need to put up. I'm gonna put it up in the back. Where the suspicious activity have been happening. But it could have been the goats, it could have been raccoons, it could have been people, it could have been who knows what. So, but anyways, yeah, right now I'm mostly just focusing on cleaning the place up. And yeah, I'll try to do a free food and medicine video next week. I also need to go to my Eldo property and do a video over there. That's more or less the food forest, because it's pretty much feral. I get my passion fruit from over there, although I do have passion fruit growing here now, finally. It's got tons of those Chinese lanterns growing over there, so I go over there to get some of those, although I got plenty over here. But if I was to go to market, if I was to need to take those things to the market, then that's basically what I would do. I'd just go cultivate those, go collect those. I was doing organic recycling over here, but eventually I'm going to do the organic recycling over there, and I'm going to basically have this for my goats. And I might even just do the same over there. But I'm trying to get this property next to me as well. And if I do that, then, you know, I'll have even more property. Ow! What the heck is this? Oh, from a satellite dish. That looks like it's still usable. DirecTV. Not that I would use it, but I might be able to sell it to somebody, maybe. I don't know. This paper. This guy brings this brush and drops it off. Ow. Paper. Okay, I'm not worried about paper. It looks bad, but I'm not worried about paper. So, yeah. So I'm mostly just going to be raising goats and cats. If anything, I'll just throw this in my metal recycle. I don't know. I'll see if my mom wants to sell it online. She does some online stuff. So I guess that's it. When I get back, I'll clean out the back of this truck because it's a mess. Mostly I've been just gung-ho. Oh, I wanted to show you the passion fruit boxes. Mostly I've just been going gung-ho, trying to get these pallet boxes around these trees. But some of these pallet boxes are for other things. So I had a theory, and this is what I'm probably going to do. When I was talking about those fertilizer buckets, I'm going to put one in here as well. But I got passion fruit growing in here, right? So I'll put a fertilizer. Oh, there's a, whatchamacallit egg, praying mantis eggs. Put a fertilizer bucket in here, and then that way when it rains it'll feed the passion fruit. Now I'll put a cattle panel around it to protect it from the goats, and then it can grow on this to its heart's content. And then when this falls apart, well, it'll be well established already, and I'll just maybe put another cattle panel ring around it. These are lemon cucumbers. I got 4 lemon cucumber boxes. So anytime I see something, a vine type thing growing that I want to cultivate, that's basically what I'm gonna do. So I'll just put a pallet box around it, let it grow on the pallet box, and then like grapevines, I should do that with the grapevines. And then I got a lot of mess I gotta clean up. I recently found a whole bunch of pots that David left out here. David Ray, underneath all this brush. So I got some of it, but I still got a lot more I gotta come in here and clean it out. So, and I'm gonna take all that dirt that was in it and put it in the greenhouse. Yeah, I'm not sure what project he was working on with these, but he always starts things and never finishes them, you know, like this big hole in the ground that is now an accident hazard. And there's 2 other ones I'm actually filling in now too that he just left. He's like, oh, I'm using those are for a project. And then when he's done with the project, he just left these big gaping holes in the ground for people to fall in and hurt themselves. So, go figure. But yeah, blackberries, the ones that get real tall, I got some in the back. Those are the ones I'm putting cattle panels around. I'm going to protect them from the goats. Like I said, the goats can eat around the edges, but they won't be able to eat them all down. And then those are the wild ones that I want to cultivate. They're delicious too. But right around over in here, so I'm going to start doing my raised beds and maybe put another greenhouse in the future back here behind the blackberries. So, yeah, right in here, boom. So that's my next project, my next project. But it's one of my projects, so. And what I'm gonna do with that is what I'm talking about, like on my Discord. In the bottom, I'll cut these barrels in half long ways. I mean, I could do it either way, really, but I'm gonna do it long ways. Like this. Well, more like this, because I want the bung holes in them. want to make sure they won't drain. And this will be at the very bottom of the raised bed. This is like 2 feet, well, not this one particularly, but these bigger ones. So it's like 2 feet, and it's 4 foot across, I think. Not 4 foot. It's, I think, I don't know. I have to measure it again. It's like, I think it's 2 foot. Yeah, 2 foot across. Maybe 3. No, it's only got to be 2. So it's like 2 foot across, and maybe it's a little over a foot when you go from the ground up. But anyways, it'll basically act as a rainwater catchment at the bottom of the raised bed. I'll fill that in with dirt, and then cover it up with wood for like a hugelkultur. And then fill that up, and maybe even put some paper and some other biodegradable matter in there. Then put manure over the top of that. Then put compost over the top of that. And then put topsoil or biochar in with the topsoil on top of that, and plant in that. And that's going to be my raised beds. And then, like I said, I'll have the rainwater collection at the bottom for drought resistance. And then the hugelkultur will also act as a drought resistance, because it'll act as a sponge. Not like SpongeBob, but it'll act as a sponge, and it will basically, the moisture will soak up into the wood, and the wood will act as a sponge, and then it'll slowly release nutrients into the soil. So I already sold one of my 3,000 gallon tanks. I'll probably go ahead and sell that one as well. I'm going to keep this one. I'm not sure for what yet, but that's my favorite one. It's got the cone bottom. They're better. So I made money on the other one, and if I sell this one, I'm going to make money on it too. And I've sold off a lot of these totes, but I know where to get more. And yeah, the tote cages I'm going to use for gardening. And the water I mostly just use, or the totes I mostly use for rainwater or water, emergency water for the animals. And in the back kitchen area, I use it for, the sink area that we don't have anymore, but I plan on rebuilding. Anyways, I gotta go. So, till next time, I just want to show off my boxes mostly, and show my crappy farm that I'm cleaning up. Like I said, it used to be a sustainable community, so that's why all the garbage is here. People just don't take care of other people's property. You think teamwork makes the dream work, but there's a lot of people out there who just are selfish and they only care about themselves. And so now my concept of sustainable community is, all right, I got my land, you got your land, we work together like a B2B or a multiple C corp. So I'm encouraging people to come to this area and buy their own property, not live on my property and treat me like shit and treat my property like shit. Buy your own property and do whatever the hell you want to do on your own property. If you want to treat it like shit, that's your business. And then, then we can work together. But I'm not coddling anybody anymore. Done with all that crap. Nobody's coming on my property and living on my property unless it's my girlfriend or family, and probably not even that. I'll probably want my woman to have her own place too. Be like, nah, you have your place, I have mine. We can live together, but you have your place, I have mine. And then that way, it's kind of like a prenup. We break up, we get divorced, whatever. You got your place, I got mine. Boom, we're happy, you know. No having to fight over dividing assets. You got your shit, I got my shit. Boom, we're done. That's the way, it should be, So, and that's the way I want it. So I got this property, I got the Kaplinger property, and then I got the 20 acres over in Eldo, about 3 miles away. That was a joint venture. I only own 10% of that, but nobody else ever comes down. So I'm working on buying people out. So if you want to help buy out people, hey, that's fine, because then you own that property or part of it. Then once we get controlling interest of it, then we can subdivide it. Because I think it's 2 parcels. We could turn it into 4 parcels. And voila, you know, run a road right down the middle. Perfect. So if we do that, I just need to buy out 1 more person. And then we need 3 other people to help buy out the other whatevers, you know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, that's only 8 acres. Oh, no, 8, 8, 16. That's only 16 acres. 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'll probably just need 1 more person. Or, you know, whatever. 3 more, 4 more people to help me buy out people over there. Run the road down the middle. Have 2 properties on each side and 1 in the back. Sounds like a plan. In the back would probably make a good shooting range. So whoever wants a shooting range, there you go. There you go. All right. All right. I just did the math, and I don't really have to leave for another hour. And it's a nice day, so I'm gonna go finish siliconing the box truck, so it'll be finished. And then I don't have to worry about that no more. Well, I'll still have to worry about sealing the roof this spring. But I've got some feeders that I'm gonna use. I got some feeders I'm gonna use to cover it for now, because I think I have an idea where it's leaking. So I'll climb up there and do that. And I think I made a mistake and put my silicone in my camper instead of leaving it in my truck where it would be warm. I'm gonna double check my truck real quick. You know, it's probably okay because I just put it in there like yesterday. But you don't want it to freeze because it'll ruin it. All right. Yep, sure enough, that's what I did. So I'm headed down. I could drive down, but I need the exercise. I had the excess gravel dumped here. I probably should have had him spread it a little bit better, but I had him do it a little too thick. And now I gotta spread it. If I had a Bobcat or a farm tractor, it wouldn't be a problem, but I gotta do it by hand. Fill in the rest of these ruts. Although, if I don't get this property next door, I might actually go buy me a backhoe, because it's only 20 grand. And I need one. I mean, I could buy a used one for 10, but why? You know, they want $10,000 still for backhoes that are as old as I am. I'm like, what? I can get one that's brand new for twice that. You know, apparently they hold their resale value, but I don't know. But anyways, I got most all the pallets up that were left here along this row. I only got a couple more left I gotta get. I also got a junk pile down here that David Ray left several years ago, and then we've just been driving around it. I gotta clean that up. Been moving all my totes and barrels back here, out of sight, out of mind. So I either use them or sell them. Mostly I need them, so I'm not eager to sell them unless I get some more. But if people want to buy them, I'll sell them, you know, I ain't tripping. So either way, I'll use them or I sell them, I don't care. But the more I sell, the more it pays for my trip to go get more. So one half dozen another. But I made some good money off of that tank, that 3,000 gallon feed tank. I came out very well on that, very well. So, but I paid a little bit more for it than I did the other tank that had the cattle feed in it. But I'm selling them both for the same price. So if I sell that one, I'm gonna do extremely well as well. Here's the junk pile that David Ray left over here. Broken glass, old windows, old rabbitry, pallet, more pallets, just shit that I gotta clean up. I'll get to it eventually. Ow. Probably should get to it sooner than later. I could probably use some of this stuff, but I don't know. I got 50 million projects I'm working on. Oh, wrong way. But yeah, if I buy a backhoe, then I can work on my some other projects that I need to work on. Like fixing this pond because they screwed up my pond. I mean, it's okay, it works, but you know, they quoted me $1,000 to do the pond. They thought that was my budget, and I thought that was just an estimate. And so at $1,000, they stopped. And I'm like, what? Why didn't you finish? You know? And they're like, oh, well, we thought your budget was $1,000. I could never get them to come back out here and finish. So I guess I got to do it. Pain in the ass. So, I mean, you can't even rely on contractors to do what you need them to do anymore, it seems like. So, this is my camper. It's not much to brag about. But it's not like I need to live in it every day anyways. And I'm not here every day to make it nicer than it is. But it's not really that bad. It don't leak anymore. So it's decent. I probably should have drove down here, because some of the stuff I don't want to stay down here because I don't want it to freeze. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, here they are. Silicone. You know, freezing once in a while, you know, a couple times probably ain't gonna hurt it, but if it freezes consistently, it'll mess them up. Excess clothes. I got too much clothes. I'm gonna hang those up in my closet up there later. So yeah, this will still be good for now. It's been in my truck up until yesterday or the day before. I mostly use this camper for storage. I got a good deal on it. The guy wanted $600. Got my phone, all the cats run after it as if it's food. It's not food, it's a phone. I know they both start with an F. but not really. But one's edible and the other one's not. See, I got all this crap I gotta clean up still. It's a mess back here. But one thing at a time. I'm only home on the weekends, so I can only do so much. And I only got so much money, so I have to sometimes rob from one project to do another project. Like, I had cattle panels around this kitchen area and I used them all for something else. But I changed my mind what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put horse fence around it instead, because the cattle panels, the ducks and chickens were still getting in. And, you know, that's might be okay, especially at this point. But, you know, when we were growing things in here, you know, like our personal starter stuff, it was a problem. So I may not do horse fence. I might do goat fence instead. But like this field fence and the cattle panels, they can walk right through it, no problem. You know? So, I mean, most of the chickens could jump the fence anyways, but yeah. The ducks were the biggest problem because their poop is the nastiest. And they were pooping in here like crazy. And so I think that was the biggest problem because the ducks could get in and out. So, anyways, here's the feeder thingies. I'm going to put that up there over that deal and put a rock on top, and hopefully that'll stop the leak for a little while until I get some stuff to seal it. But it's warm enough today. I might be able to seal it today with the silicone and maybe next time get some more Gakko to put over the top. But anyways, so yeah, I put this nice board down and I siliconed it. And I got a gap over there. I gotta silicone some more. And then I gotta do that side. And then this will be done. Besides the roof, then I gotta do that too. But this is gonna be my kitchen supply overflow. So basically I just have all the boxes in here that are potential kitchen stuff. Not food, but other stuff. And even if it is food, it'll be in containers where mice can't get into it. Bugs and mice. Okay, bye. Well, now that I'm up here, I really can't see where the water is going in at. I mean, I can see where the water settles right in here. But it doesn't, unless it's leaking right here where these cracks are. I might just reseal these cracks, because this doesn't look like it's leaking, and this is actually smaller. Too small, so it's not gonna work. Good thing it's rubber. Those do come in handy, so that's why I bought them. See, like this one's got extra bead of caulk around it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do here, and hopefully maybe that'll stop the leak. Because that might be where it's coming in. It's not a lot, so it's gotta be that. But yeah, get a big enough feed bucket and put it over these, because these things tend to sun rot. And to be honest, I probably should Gakko it as well to keep it from sun rotting. But anyways, all right, here we go. All right, that ought to do it. And I'm making a mess of my hands, but that ought to fix it, if that's where the leak's coming from anyways. So yeah, so the only place I could think of it coming from. Really, to be honest, I can't see any place else that it might be coming in at. So, except maybe right there. But it's not leaking up front, it's leaking around that. So, I might come up here and put another layer on it. I guess we didn't put that layer on as thick as I thought we did. So I'll probably come up here and put another layer on it this year. Hopefully, if I got time, put another layer on it. And that should do it. Yeah. All right. Box truck is officially done. Oh, I thought I ran out of time. So box truck is officially done. Just gotta let it dry. It took more silicone than I thought it was gonna take. But anyways, I got the roof done. I got the floor done. I thought I was done on this side, but I wasn't. So yeah, now I'm done. Hopefully, maybe. Unless some of this stuff settles and creates a gap. I'm not going to smooth it out with my fingers because I already made a mess of my hands. I'll just let it dry. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to work. I could have put a bead of silicone along there, and I still might in the future. Because this here leak, can leak. And I thought about maybe even putting a bead of silicone there as well. Because this here's the hinge side. So it won't really hurt it to have some silicone there. Maybe what I'll do is I'll open the door, tape one side so that the silicone's sticking to one side, not the other. And then when I open the door in the future, well, the tape will separate from the door and the silicone basically won't be holding. It'll hold on one side but not the other. So we'll see. I can do that later. So this is done. Now I gotta do is kick the cats out. They're like, hey, this will make a good home. And fix this roof or ceiling, which I can probably just replace it with a thin layer of particle board. Take this light out and just put and this light and just put a sheet of plywood, thin plywood like this, but better, over it. Just cover the whole thing. Maybe notch out holes for the windows so I can still have some daylight in here, but I don't really need it. And then that way, if it leaks again, it's not going to be a big deal. I don't know. We'll see what I'm going to do. I haven't figured it out yet. Get down. Psst, psst, psst. This is Tails. Tails! All right, Tails. Oh, he didn't quite land on your feet. I sprayed his eyes this morning. He's doing a lot better. He had pussy eyes too. Oh yeah, let me get this feeder thing, water thing. So I didn't need those, but they'll come in handy. So I got the box truck done. Now I can start moving kitchen stuff in here and I can say, I'm done with the box truck. Although I'm not sure I want to tell Sophie because she wants to move her stuff in here. And it's like, no, you need to look for your own place. I'm done catering and coddling people. No more. Only cats. I only coddle cats. Yeah. And not really even that. They gotta take care of their responsibilities. So do you. The cats are here to hunt mice. That's their job, and they do their job. And to be lovable. And they do that too very well. You know, none of my cats are feral because I give them love and affection. Not too much, I don't want to coddle them. You know, they are farm cats. So they gotta be tough. Okay, I gotta lock this back up. Wanted to make sure. I left last weekend and forgot to lock up one of my containers, so I gotta make sure I don't do that again. So I'm done here, I'm headed to work. So it looks like my brother's probably gonna be moving down, and if my brother moves down, my dad's gonna move down. And my mom is been talking about moving down for a while. One of my ex-girlfriends is moving down. You know, she's a friend. It's not, you know, nothing romantic there anymore, but you know, she's a friend and she's a go-getter like me and my brother and I. You know, a workaholic, so to speak. So, you know, maybe we'll network and do stuff, farm stuff together. Yeah, but just farm stuff. I'm not interested in anything else. But anyways, so she's coming down. My brother's coming down. My dad might come down. My mom's been talking about coming down. My mom's boyfriend's talking about coming down. My mom's boyfriend's friend has already come down. So it's like all my people, not all my people, but a lot of my people, David Irish was talking about coming down. That's the reason why I picked this area. So, but yeah, the problem with David Irish, so this property was the DD&D project, David, and David. And we picked this area because David Irish wanted to retire in this area. Well, come to find out, had I known this before, oh good, Pivot's getting along with Tails. Good boy. I'm glad you guys are getting along. He was a punk. He was picking on everybody earlier, or before when he first got here. He still kind of does. He might end up being somewhat alpha. But anyway, come to find out, David Irish's wife doesn't like David Ray, never did. So they weren't planning on joining us, even though we thought maybe they would. Nope. So it's just David Ray and me for a while, but then David Ray basically bailed out on me in 2017. Was over at Bill and Shirley's for 2 years till they kicked him off their property, and then he came back here. I should have never taken him back. That was my first mistake. But he came back in 2019, 2020, 21, and then 22, I ended up having to get rid of him, and he went back to Bill and Shirley's. So he'll be there for probably a little while, but they don't really want him there. So they're going to get rid of him eventually. But, so yeah, I picked this area because of David Irish. And it's a good area. So, you know, who knows? Maybe more of my people will end up coming down here. And I won't feel so much alone. I mean, I made new friends down here, but not much. Because I'm on the road all the time. And the ones that were David Ray's and mine, you know, they kind of 50-50 took sides, if you will. And but mostly it's because he was going around spreading lies and slandering me to everybody. But I'd say at least half of them came to me and told me what he was saying about me, and they don't believe his lies. And then there's the other half, so whatever. But you know, like I told my brother, I says, I'd have never kicked him off the land. He's a bum. You know, he has nothing to show for himself. He has nothing to offer, really. He's smart and he's strong, but he's not going to be strong forever. But he is smart. And I used to think he was trustworthy and I used to think he was loyal. But that all went to the wayside. Or I thought he was honest, loyal, and trustworthy, which he's not. But he used to be at one point. And but yeah, I was just gonna stick him in the back corner, that back corner back there. Let him be a bum back there all by his lonesome, you know, out of sight, out of mind. You know, a lot of this garbage is because of him that I have to clean up after his ass. And you know, it's like, why do I want that up here where everybody can see it? So I was planning on moving him in the back and letting him be a troglodyte bum back there. But he started sabotaging me and costing me more money and then slandering me all over the county. And then I basically just had to get rid of him. And then I found out about a pedophile stuff. And that was like the icing on the cake. I was like, you gotta go. You gotta go. Especially since I had Sophie coming up. She has 3 boys. Of course, I don't think he's so much into boys as he is girls. And with Sage was going to come up, and she's got girls. And so I was like, I got to protect these kids. I can't have a pedophile running around my property. So I got rid of him, you know. But again, that was just the icing on the cake. If he wasn't sabotaging me and backstabbing me, I wouldn't have dug into his background and found the pedophile stuff. I mean, I kind of already knew about it because he told me 10 years ago. That's why I got kicked off the family farm. But he also told me that he was innocent. You know, that he claimed that his stepdad and his stepbrother framed him. Come to find out, that was a lie. It really was him. And there's been suspicions of him all over the county from other people. And that's what led me to believe that, you know, maybe he's really guilty. And then after we started having our falling out, like literally, another person came to me and started talking to me about it. And so that's when I really started digging. Because this other person had concerns and they're like, hey, you know, since you guys aren't friends anymore, I got some questions. I need some answers. And I was like, oh, really? Whenever they gave me their evidence. And that's when I started digging and uncovered some of the really bad shit that I uncovered. So, yeah, I had to get rid of him. But anyways, that's the reason why we came down here. Well, David got kicked off the family farm. That's why he came down here. I got divorced. I came down here because a friend of David Irish's was doing a project down here. It turned out to be a scam. But anyways, that's another story for another day. So that's what brought me down. And then David Irish is going to retire here. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll pick something in the area. And I found this property. And David Ray was already here because he got kicked off the family farm. And 500 acres that he will not inherit because of his shady past. But anyways, so that's what brought me down here was David Irish and his other shady friend. But makes me wonder about David Irish sometimes. But now I think David Irish is okay, but I don't trust my judgment no more. But now my family's talking about coming down, so that'd be cool. But anyways, all right, I'm going to work. I'll be back in a week. Bye, cats. Cats in the cradle and a silver spoon. He's like, oh yeah, I like that. I like it. Crazy cat. That's Candy. She's the princess. Princess Candy. And then Fluffy. Fluffy's a good mom. I didn't see her this time when I went down, but I took her to the vet earlier to get her antibiotics, but I think she's gonna be okay. I think she's gonna be okay. Eat that banana. It's like, no, I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegan. I'm a carnivore. Carnivore. Alright. I figured I'd do one last recording. I'll be coming up on Deb Yoder's here in a minute. I just went by Bill's. Well, not really by Bill's. I went by the road that goes to Bill and Shirley's. Funny thing is, Robert just left that area. I guess he left their property. I don't know. And with a load of fencing. And Bill, just after Robert left, Bill comes over the hill and around the corner on his way home. I was like, yeah, I see two people I know within a mile of each other. No. But anyways, not that that means anything. I just figured I'd point out the not important, obvious, whatever. But anyways, just around this corner is Deb Yoder's place, which David Ray is still keeping his and my stolen goats. Probably won't be able to see nothing because I haven't really been able to see anything in the videos in the past. But, you know, why break the tradition? I'm going by there, might as well videotape. So here we go at the top of the hill. And I got the dash cam too. Probably should point it in that direction. There's the Billy. I saw 3 goats. Anyways. I don't know if you've seen that. I wasn't paying much attention to the other goats. I was mostly paying attention to the Billy. Which could've, would've, should've been mine, but I let him have it, you know, so it's whatever. Yeah. Funny thing is, he's talking about getting more goats. I'm like, where are you gonna, you know, rumor has it, he's talking about getting more goats. I'm like, where are you gonna put them? On your property? You ain't got no property. You'll never have any property because you're a worthless eater bum. Right? So is Deb Yoder gonna let him keep his goats on her property while she basically does all the work? And he does nothing and reaps all the benefits like he wanted to do on my property? You know? So, yeah. I don't know. He sure is a con artist, that's for sure. He had me fooled for 9 years. 9 years. 10 years, really. He came down. It was only down for 9 years, but I known him for about 10. So yeah, he had me fooled for 10 years. I mean, I started seeing his true colors in 2017, but it didn't really dawn on me because, I don't know, I guess he had the wool pulled over my eye pretty good. But now that I know better, I'm like, nah, fuck that. You know? And I guess I'm just angry. I'm hurt and angry that I fell for his lies and trickery. But anyways, I don't know. I'm a dumbass. So, whatever. Anyhow, I'm trying not to be a dumbass anymore. You know, I got Sophie on the land, or on the Kaplinger property. She's pretty much worthless too. So now I'm working on getting rid of her. And I'm not taking any more people in. No. No more. No mas. I'm done. So, yeah. Alright. I guess that's it. On the road again. Okay, bye.